The CEO of the world's most valuable company just argued that even the most capable frontier AI system should be available to everyone.
Do you think we're ready for Anthropic's powerful Claude Mythos to be available to everyone? Are systems sufficiently hardened?
It should absolutely be available to everyone.
And Axios wasn't asking about just any system. Earlier in the same conversation, Mike Allen had already put it to him directly that this is a model capable of breaking into a bank or an intelligence agency.
Back, we know that Anthropic's Mythos can break into a bank or can break into an intelligence agency. What has surprised you, or what's coming that gives you pause?
Well, it surprised me that people were surprised.
Young never disputes that framing. He just says, ship it to everyone anyway. That is not a slip. That is the most important exchange in this entire interview. And it tells you how exactly Jensen Young thinks about risk versus diffusion. Everything else he says in the next 5 minutes is downstream of that one instinct. And by the end of this video, you see exactly what that instinct is protecting.
The industry still needs open models. Science needs open models. Cybersecurity needs open model because it's safe. It's important for cybersecurity. It's important for national security. It's important for economic security. With great AI, open models, it's great for the whole industry. Obviously, when there's more, if there's great AI, even if it's open, wherever it comes from, there will be more use. Whenever there's more use, you'll have to sell a lot more Nvidia computers, we'll have to build more data centers, we'll have more services, the technology will diffuse into more industries. And so starting point is great models lead to great use, which leads to great growth.
On paper, Young's open versus closed model position sounds balanced. Use closed models like Anthropic and OpenAI because they work well, but keep open models alive for science, cybersecurity, and national sovereignty. Reasonable framing. But listen to what is actually protecting underneath it. Every open model that ships, Chinese, American, doesn't matter whose flag is on it, pushes more compute demand back to Nvidia. He said it outright. More use means more Nvidia computers, more data centers, more services. That is not a neutral policy stance. That is a hardware supplier explaining why it benefits regardless of who wins the model layer. It's a genuinely clever position because it lets him sound like an open science evangelist, why he wins no matter which side comes out on top.
Whether China has or not, I don't think it matters. And let me tell you why. I think, first of all, the idea that it's a race with an endpoint, obviously, we're going to continue to use AI forever. United States is going to be here for a long time. China is going to be here for a long time. We have to recognize that China has some of the largest population of science and math students in the world. If they manufacture anything, that's incredible. They manufacture math students incredibly. And so they manufacture more AI researchers than the rest of the world combined.
So is
The
China
fact
winning?
so the fact that China is going to be extraordinary at this is a foregone conclusion. And the idea that we would hold China back is ill-conceived, and it's not going to happen. Nor are they going to hold the United States back.
So there's no scenario where China runs U.S. companies off the road.
No, zero possibility. This is the American tech industry is too vibrant, too smart, too innovative, move too fast.
Ask Young if China has caught up in AI, and he won't give you a yes or no. He tells you the question itself is the wrong shape, no finish line, no single winner. Both countries here for a long time. That's a real argument, and there's a substance to it. China genuinely does train more STEM researchers than anywhere else in the world. So pretending contentment is realistic is fair skepticism. But notice the trick. Reframing the race as endless also happens to be the framing that keeps export markets open for Nvidia chips on both sides of the Pacific. When it says zero possibility that China runs American AI companies off the road, it's not just offering foreign policy analysis. He's talking his own book and doing it persuasively enough that most viewers won't catch it.
The bubble will come someday. It's just not today. This is in the very beginning of the build out. And
3 years,
someday,
5 years, 10 years?
um, uh, it's very unlikely in the next 5 years.
5 to 10.
Yeah, it's very unlikely in the next 5 years, and we'll see about the 5 to 10 years. It just depends on how fast we can build. Now, the challenge, of course, is that the rate at which we can build the infrastructure is limited by physical things. Today, the industry could build faster. It could run faster, but we don't have enough chips. We don't have enough memory. We don't have enough land, power. We don't have enough construction workers to build the data centers.
Now, give Young his credit here. This is his most intellectual, honest moment. Asks directly when the AI investment bubble arrives. He doesn't deny when it's coming. He says not for 5 to 10 years. And his reason is genuinely structural. The industry is bottlenecked by chips and memory. It's bottlenecked by land and power. It's bottlenecked by construction labor, not by demand. Scarcity of physical input is functioning as an artificial brake on the bubble forming. That's a testable claim, not a talking point. And it's worth remembering the next time someone tells you the AI spending story is either pure hype or a sure thing. Young is telling you it's neither yet, because the physical world hasn't caught up to the capital.
While people have said that AI is going to eliminate jobs, that it's going to make it so that we don't have to work at all, it's exactly the opposite. And the reason for that is, and I'll just first of all give you the evidence, the number of radiologists in the world is increasing substantially, some 20%, I understand. And the reason for that is because the studying of the radiology scans has become completely automated by AI, but as a result, they could see a lot more patients. And because there are so many people who needs care, the number of patients they can now bring to the hospitals has increased dramatically, which results in needing more radiologists. It's the same with paralegals. Apparently, the number of paralegals has increased by some 10%. And the reason for that is while they're using AI, the number of cases they could see has increased. And there's just so many cases backlogged that now they need a lot more paralegals to be able to see all these different clients. This is happening all over. The number of manufacturing jobs has increased some 50% in the last several years. If your job is the task, then it's very likely that when that task is automated, your job will be eliminated or changed. And so, for example, customer service, call centers, that is a task that is very likely to be highly automated. However, the management, the coordination, the improvement, the evaluation of all of the AIs that are now handling the actual calls itself will likely continue to be a human-oriented task. And
Now, here's the section where Young says something that actually sounds true, and that's exactly why it deserves the closest look in this whole video. This is the part worth actually checking rather than nodding along to. Young cites rising numbers of radiologists, paralegals, and manufacturing workers as proof AI creates more jobs than it destroys. The mechanism he describes, automation increasing how many cases each person can handle, which increases the demand for the human supervising that work, is a real and well-documented pattern. It's the same thing you see with roads. Build more capacity, and instead of less traffic, you get more people driving. Where the analysis gets tinier is that Young never separates jobs created by building AI infrastructures. The construction workers, the power grid technicians, the chip fabrication roles from job preserved because of AI adoption inside existing professions. Those are two very different claims bundled into one confidence number. The infrastructure jobs are temporary, tied to a spending cycle he himself says will eventually slow down. The professional augmentation jobs are the ones that matter long term, and they are the ones with far less clean data behind them. So here is what all four of those clips actually add up to. Open models winning, good for Nvidia. Closed models winning, good for Nvidia. America ahead in the race, good for Nvidia. China ahead in the race, still good for Nvidia. Even the honest moments, the bubble question, ends with not yet, we are still building. There is no outcome in this entire 40-minute interview when Jensen Huang loses. That is the instinct we caught in the very first clip. And now you've seen it running underneath every single answer he gave. Strip away the charm and the Trump relationship color and the RD2 references. And what you are left with is a cheap company CEO whose entire worldview happens to align perfectly with maximum compute demand. That's not dishonesty. That's just incentive working the way incentive always works. The interesting question isn't whether Jensen Huang believes what he's saying. He clearly does. It's whether the rest of the industry is thinking as clearly about its own incentive as he's thinking about his.